We first off hit our deadline. We were supposed to release something today. We did. First time ever we've connected all the wallet backend components to Shelly node. And now it's just waiting for next week for all the deadlist components to turn on for the end-to-end test for balance check. So that and the card fork combinator are the last two major milestones before we launch all the Shelly mainnet stuff. And then we're all just waiting for hard fork. So based on the test next week, we'll either be launching that mainnet candidate on the 30th or July 7th. It's one of those, depending on whether the weather's good or not, type of deals. So we'll see what happens. Personally, I think the 30th is a go, but we'll find out formally next week. And it's really exciting to actually see the balance check come actually happen. It's one thing to talk about Shelly. It's one thing to talk about shipping this, but 5 years of amazing work, 5 years, and we're finally here. Guys, this lived on a whiteboard a long time ago. It lived in a notebook a long time ago. It was conversation after conversation, and there was a lot of things that could have come along that could have broken it. There were a lot of hard times, a lot of missteps, a lot of protocol failures, design failures, staffing changes that had to be made. We were dug in on certain ways we shouldn't have been. We were not as resilient as we needed to be. But despite all that, we found a way to make it happen. And in just 2 short weeks, it's either that week or the following week it's out. There's really never going to be a moment in my life that's as special as that. And I'm glad I get to share it with everybody. I really do. People, they graduate from medical school or they get a PhD or they solve a big math problem or something like that. And that's a personal victory. And as great as it may be, it's incomparable in magnitude to when you get to celebrate with an entire community of people, tens of thousands of people all across the world, different languages, different cultures, but one big family. And I'm just blown away by how far we've all gone, whether it be a belt buckle or a letter from Einstein, or some recipes for cookies. It could be a letter written on a typewriter. Doesn't really matter. Everybody does their part and everybody shows their support. And it's amazing to see just how this has brought so many people together over all the years. I can't tell you how many fathers and mothers have emailed me and said, I wasn't really connecting with my kids, but we decided to do a stake pool together, or we decided to do something with Cardano together, and we actually can relate and do something there. We watch your AMAs, or we got a Raspberry Pi. We somehow found a way to get the ITM working on it. That's pretty special, all things considered, and it means the world to me. So thank you all for sticking with me. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. So we have some cleanup. There's the ITN, and a lot of people inside my organization are saying we should keep that going. A great community, 19,000 nodes, 1,200 registered stake pools. Why don't we come up with a cool roadmap for it and keep it running? And so I set out on Twitter. I said, hey, if you run a stake pool, what do you think? Should we keep the ITN rolling? Do something else with it? I have a lot of good ideas, a lot of things in the roadmap that we could play around with. It'd be really cool to have an experimental chain and have real economic value. I'm pretty sure I can get Binance to list it. So, if you guys are game, I'm game. Let us know your thoughts. And, I tell you what, as a sign of support, I think rewards are coming to an end here in a few days. I believe the 19th is when the rewards are going to run out. So if you're making blocks beyond that, then there's no more rewards. But if you want the ITN to keep living, keep mining, keep staking on it, keep that chain alive. And if there's enough community support, I'll definitely consider doing something with it and see if we can get it listed and building something special along with it as kind of an extra gift to all those who stuck with that for 6 months. So the ball's in your court. Let's see what we can do as a community.